Evening and welcome to the May of 2026 meeting of the Madison DX Club. And I just noted that our vice president is not going to be in attendance tonight. He's at the courthouse, not as a defendant or anything like that, but he works in the Walworth County um, courthouse, and they have a trial going on, and he has to be there for that. And I don't see our treasurer, Jim, so we will pass on the treasurer's report for now, unless he pops in later on. Our minutes are now provided by our good friends at Zoom AI, and they take fairly good minutes for us, and we send those out to the members after a couple of us have had a chance to kind of go through it and make certain that it knows how to spell Bouvet. And I think the first time we talked about it, it didn't. And amazingly, in subsequent meetings, it figured it out. So even artificial intelligence understands Bouvet Isla. So just before we started the business meetings, some of you were chatting about DX and conditions in general. Do people have any comments or experiences the last month? Do they have any plans coming up that they'd like to share? Bob.
Yeah, well, 6 meters is coming alive. Um, Sporadic has started off with a bang. There's been lots of activity and even some DX. On Saturday, we had Angola D2UY coming in, and also Western Sierra. That was SO9S, yes. And most of the activity was on the East Coast with them, but they did work N9UM down in Wakanda, Illinois, not terribly far from me, about 40 miles south of me. And I know that Jim Spence, also down in Schaumburg, Illinois, which is northwest of Chicago. I saw him calling the guy in Western Sierra, so he was probably hearing him also. Nothing up here though, but it was an exciting day to see this stuff coming in so nicely. And so I'm looking forward to. I should also mention that this morning, the stations in the Northeast were working into Europe on 6 meters. So, boy, it's got me all fired up, and I'm shifting gears now, to 6 meters, and I'm going to be chasing whatever DX I can work there. And we do have some expeditions coming up. If you're a DXer on 6 meters, you probably know who ZL1RS is. He is one of the top signals from Australia. This is Bob Sutton. And Bob's going to be in Tonga now, starting on the 14th. And let's see, today is the 12th. So in a couple of days, Bob's going to start his operation. And his call is going to be Alpha 35 RS for Robert Sutton. And he'll be on there for a week. And his mission is 6 meter EME. But of course, the ideal times for that are sometimes few and far between. So when he's not doing EME, he's going to be doing terrestrial. And he usually puts out a darn good signal. He's going to have a good amplifier with him and a good antenna. So there's always a possibility of working Tonga on 6 meters. Also, there's a there's a station that, and I should say, an expedition that our club supported to Juan Fernandez. That's 3G0 Zulu, and they're coming up on the 19th for 20 days, and they may be operating on 6 meters as well. And I I've had the great fortune of working Juan Fernandez 160 through 6 meters, but I don't have them on 60 meters. And they are going to be on 60 meters. So I would think that would be a much wanted entity on six. And then finally, we have CP7DX in Bolivia. That's a much, much wanted and needed country on 6 meters. And it's a big expedition. I think it's 7 Argentinians going there, and they will be operating 6 meters also. So there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up, even this month, later on in this month. So, oh, and by the way, that one is going to be the Bolivian one's going to start on May 26th. So, good luck on six. Have fun.
Thanks, Bob. I was left myself muted. Others have any uh, stories or things they'd like to relate on DX in the last month, or planning on working any of the expeditions that Bob just talked about?
I got a quick question for Bob. What time of day are you hitting 6 meters?
Well, in the morning, um, when the band's really hot, man, it can open remarkably early. But 9, 10, 11 o'clock, sometimes 11 o'clock is a real peak into Africa. And then later on in the afternoon, around 3 o'clock or so, there's usually another opening. But I just, in my experience, the morning's usually the best openings.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
So there is the expedition to Lord Howe Island coming up early part of June. VJ2L is the call sign. It's a contest call sign. It's a special call sign because Lord Howe Island, they've been doing all sorts of I don't want to, I'll just be polite. They've been doing all sorts of reconfiguring of territories, call letter wise, or call area wise down there in Australia. Lord Howe is now part of VK2, so the guys wanted to come up with some sort of unique call for the D expedition, and VK2 wasn't going to do it, so they petitioned for a contest call sign. So it's a VJ2L. Our friend VK3QB is the team leader on it, and he is I believe it's June 1 to June 14th, and it's 160 through 10. I don't think they're going to 6, Bob, but sorry.
Sure.
But anyway, and they're going to be coming on in July as one of the programs, so we'll hear from them. So that should be a pretty good one. They've got two Flex Auroras down there, so they'll have plenty of power.
That's great. Thanks, Dick.
Oh, and just as a personal note, I sent out that email earlier today. I did it. So I finally got my DXCC QRP CW with an end-fed half-wave antenna, and it's been a very interesting journey. I may write something up on it for one of the newsletters, but yeah, I got my 100 after a year and a half. I mean, I know some of you guys can get 100 within a weekend, but when you're a QRP and you got to sneak your signal and you got to do it any way you can. And the thing is, I wanted to do 100% through LOTW, and wow, I mean, you really learn to start picking and choosing which DX stations you want to work if you're going to try to get your DXCC based on how they QSL. And I like to collect QSL cards from DXpeditions and special event stations, but I wanted the LOTW approach to the DXCC, so it took a while. And I learned to find that Bulgaria is the biggest offender. And I finally got one station that I was able to get him to acknowledge me through LOTW. So go Bulgaria.
So, Dick, let me ask you a question, please. How much power were you running QRP?
I was running my maximum. I was running the full 5 watts, but it was
Okay.
but I was going through 130 feet of coax, ABR 240, not even the R400, which I can't believe I did that to myself. So, as a reward, I'm going to be coming home from Hamvention with some Davis Superflex that I can run out there to the antenna, and maybe I'll get all of my 5 watts to that antenna.
Okay, well, that's a great accomplishment. Congratulations, Dick.
Thank you. It was a personal challenge I really wanted to do. So,
Any other DX? Dick, you mentioned you're going to Hamfest. Anyone else heading? I still call it Dayton. Um, Anyone else heading to Ohio? Scott? Bob?
Not me.
No, there was another Scott.
The 2T Scott.
Yeah. So you'll have to tell us some stories when you get back about
this year they've got 3 forums for DX. Last year it was 2 back to back, and this year they got 3 of them back to back on Saturday. So it's going to be a long morning, but it'll be kind of interesting to see how that goes. Plus the DX dinner. So should be busy.
That's great. So let me remind everyone that we do put up on our YouTube channel, and you can get there, by going to our webpage or, excuse me, or just searching Madison DX Club, and it'll bring up both our webpage and our YouTube channel, and we put up our programs. And the last 6, 8 meetings or so, we're starting to put up our meetings for some of our members that can't make it, or potential members who want to understand a little bit more about the club. And we always ask people to, just like they say on the real YouTube channels, to like and subscribe. I've never quite understood ringing the bell, but apparently there's a bell that you can be reminded of new programs when they're published. And when we do get things uploaded, I send something out through our email reflector so that you can find stuff. But there's some great programs there on tower safety, tower maintenance, lightning, and our DXpedition discussions, like the one we're going to have tonight, are, I think, as good, if not better, than a lot of travel logs you see on TV. And we really appreciate the effort that our presenters go to, and it gives us a real insight, a lot more information about what's happening on the other side of that contact. So, if you're a member, we'll be coming up in our new membership year in July. If you're not a member, the offer we made last month is obviously still valid today, that if you join, you get the balance of this year, which isn't much left, just end of May and June, and next year without any additional cost. And it's still only $20 a year. And information on how to get that money to our treasurer is on our website. And So check out the website and check out the membership information. So for new business, this is the time of the year that we have nominations for officers in the election. So tonight is the nominations for the officers, and then at our next meeting in June, we have the election, and our year, our new season, if you will, begins in July for the 26-27 year for our dues and for our officers. So I mentioned last month that we would be taking nominations, and I'd like to recognize Bob Urban, W9EWZ, for some nominations.
Yeah, I have sort of a slate of officers in mind. I think it would be great to have our vice president and our secretary treasurer to continue to serve our club, and both of them have agreed to do so. So I'd just like to begin with nominating W9DEY, Dave York, as our vice president, and Jim Hugo, K9ET, is our secretary treasurer. But also now, I think we need to thank Kevin for the wonderful job he's done in the past 5 years as president. But he's ready to step down now. So we've been looking for somebody to fill his shoes, and I think that we've found him. So I think I want to nominate Dick Strasburger, K9EEE. Dick has been in ham radio, got his novice in 1970, and he's been wearing a lot of hats. He has his extra class now. He's a volunteer examiner. He's a CW Ops instructor. He's the editor of the CW Ops newsletter. And if you've never seen it, take a look at the CW Ops website and just take a glance at some of his newsletters. They're really extensive and extremely well done. I've just been very, very impressed with them. He's also the past president of the Milwaukee Amateur Radio Club. But now he's looking for a new challenge and to go along with his passion of chasing DX. He operates 99% CW. And as he just related to us, at 5 watts, he's worked his DXCC in a year and a half with on CW, which seems to be quite dwindling in DX activity relative to FT8, and also with a simple wire antenna. So I think Dick seems to have the leadership skills and the experience, and he certainly has the passion to serve as our president. So I nominate Dick Strasburger for president of the Madison DX Club.
So do we have a second?
I'll second that. I'll second all three.
Yeah, you can have all three, Ted.
Can I do gang seconds?
Yes. So any further nominations? We haven't had to go through redistricting or gerrymandering. We're very, very fortunate that way. Hearing no further nominations, we'll close nominations and we'll have the election next month. Thank you for those very kind words, Bob. And it's been an interesting 5 years. We went from pre-COVID where Bob was president at that time and we were having meetings to when COVID hit and we moved over to being online and doing Zoom meetings and it's proven to be very interesting for the club given how spread out our members are, even in different countries and continents. So it's been good. And I took over, as Bob said, 5 years ago. I still have sitting over to my right the gavel, which I will give to the next president, and he can hit his own head with it if he gets frustrated with the rest of us. But I really appreciate the kind words, Bob, and I also appreciate all the effort that Bob has put into getting our speakers and our programs picked out and getting our speakers to show up, which is can sometimes be a bit of a heart-stopping thing. I think we had to wake one speaker up because it was the middle of the night in Africa, and another speaker in Australia. I I don't know if he forgot or if he was having some technical problems and we didn't have his email address. And, we finally tracked him down and got him online. But most of the time it runs smooth and it runs smooth with a great deal of effort by Bob, and I really appreciate it. I'm very happy that Dick has been nominated, and I think we'll all get to know him better, but he's been a good participant at these meetings. And Bob just outlined a very, very good resume that Dick has. So Dick, we'll expect, if you're elected next month, a good acceptance speech. And you can do it all in CW if you want. Just make certain it's low power so it doesn't overwhelm our drinking and celebrating. All right. Any other new business for the club?
One minor hardware note on the K9 IMM skimmer, which has gotten to be somewhat hearing impaired recently.
Oh, no.
Well, yeah, it's been that way for a while, but I finally figured it out after some detective work. A DX Engineering antenna protector gave its life, turned into a 25 dB pad. So I think there must have been a lightning hit fairly close. So I put an Array Solutions one in there, which I like better anyway.
Yeah.
That works good.
Good. Has to work better. But,
Well, I don't know. I mean, it did its job.
well,
The
I mean,
radio did
better than
die.
the fried one.
Yeah. The fried one is kind of interesting. If you open that thing up, it's got some parts in there that have got the labels sanded off them so you can't figure out what they're doing. It's kind of rude. I
Yeah.
would fix it if I could figure out what that little 6-pin IC is.
So is it hearing better now, or are you starting, numbers going back up again on the skimmer?
Oh yeah, it's working fine now.
Oh, good, good. That's a real resource for us all. All right, any other new business? Okay, we'll adjourn the meeting.